this is Svein on the SRS channel, and today we're gonna have a look at the Storm Collectibles Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Fei Long character or figure. And yeah, I got this right before Christmas, and I haven't had time to have a look at it until now. So this is the first review of 2025, and the last figure I got in my collection in 2024. And yeah, here's the front of the packaging. You see an image of the character on the front there, and we're gonna talk about that a little later. And yeah, you have his name there on the front of the box, Storm Collectibles logo. On this side you have some artwork of how the figure in the box actually looks like, and same on the other side, logo on the top, logo and stuff on the bottom, and you have product shots on the back. And yeah, there you have that. There's some bio stuff on the back of the box there, and yeah, he comes with things and he does stuff, and that's just about it for the box. So let's open it up and have a look at the contents. Inside the box you find the clamshell with the figure, and you find the backdrop piece, his stage area in the game, and yeah, it looks like some sort of temple scene of sorts on one side, and on the other side you have this KO or knockout effect if you want to use it for photos. And that's it for that. And as usual, here is how everything comes packaged: extra heads and effect stuff, and yeah. And as usual, the figure is covered by a piece of plastic sheet, and it's inserted into a piece of plastic in the plastic tray. And yeah, that's it. Let me get everything out of the box and we'll have a closer look at it. And here are all the accessories, the figure, and the army of hands you get with this particular figure. And yeah, we start with the accessories first. Here's a nice effect piece for his flaming kick or whatever it's called in the game, and it's just supposed to put it on the leg on the figure. We'll show off this a bit more later. You get a short and a long effect piece for the figure, and I think they're supposed to go this way. And yeah, you just put it on the hand of the figure, and I'll show you how it works later. You also get his nunchuck, and it's a metal chain there, black handles, and not much to it. They have a pair of dedicated hands for holding the nunchucks, and yeah, there's that. You get some head options. You get this screaming head, and let's see here if I can focus on it. And mine seems to have a little bit of paint rub up there. I can't see it with my naked eye, but I can kind of see it on camera here. And yeah, it's nicely sculpted and nicely painted, as always. Just back of the head. And these heads are really difficult to hold. But yeah, and the hair piece seems to be two separate pieces sculpted. You can see a line going here, but looking at it with my bare eyes, I can barely see that seam line, and you won't notice it in the back there either on the shelf. But yeah, the screaming head sculpt. You get I've been caught in the customs head sculpt, and we're doing a cavity check face, and it's equally nicely sculpted and painted. So there is that. And they've really gone pretty far with these head sculpts. They actually painted the or sculpted and painted inside the cavity of the mouth in there. They could have cheated and gotten away with it, but that's what they have done. And like the face is in two pieces there, so it haven't been too hard to do it, but they did it, and it looks pretty awesome. And then you have I was caught in the customs and I found my drugs up my butt face, and yeah, he got some blood on his face, black eyes, and yeah, really nicely done. All the figures comes with the looser variant of the face, so this is Fei Long's version of his. And again, it might be just my lights. Looks like there's a bit of paint scuff there, but it's tiny and I can't see it unless I go close up on the camera there. But yeah, there's that head, and again, they even did the cavity in the mouth there, and it's like, yeah, they didn't have to, but they did, and it looks great. Then you get a bunch of hands. You get a pair of this open flat out hands. They're nicely sculpted and painted. And if I can hold them properly here, there's how it looks like. you get a pair of like jester hands here, kung fu hands, or whatever you want to call them. Really nice for various poses. And you get another pair of jester hands here, and I'm running out of name for these hands, but yeah, you can use these hands with the nunchuck accessories for different poses and stuff. But yeah, there you have that, and you get right and left of these, and it's like a more relaxed hand, or gesture hand, pointing hand, or I don't know what to call these hands anymore, but there are all hands that you can use for poses. And there's a tiny, I can barely hold this, but yeah, there's that set. And you got a pair of dedicated holding hands for the nunchucks, and you can see it's a gripping hand with a hole through it, and they're probably a little bit tight. The thumb and the fingers aren't separated, so it's a tight fit here. But if you can wiggle it through, just get it started, and it's a pretty tight fit here. But yeah, there's the holding hand and the work for both hands, and you can supply with other hands for the pose, like if you almost lose them, like this for a pose, or like this, depending on how you're posing the figure. And you get this pair of hands, more like a pointing hand like the others too, but with a slightly different gesture. Once again, nicely sculpted and painted. And you get a pair of these kung fu chop hands, so you can kung the fu out of someone. But yeah, they're basically just flat hands, to put it that way. Nicely sculpted and painted. And yeah, that's it for the accessories. So let's have a look at the figure itself. And here we have Fei Long, and it's a nice figure. really nice. Not much to him really. It's a Bruce Lee kind of type figure. You got the black pants, white socks and black shoes, and a naked upper body here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's have a close look at his face there first. And it's just a stoic face, more or less. Looks kind of angry. But yeah, this is his neutral face for the figure. Nicely sculpted, nicely painted. And so is the upper body here. Storm Collectibles do some excellent sculpting on the muscles and stuff on these bodies. And it's I don't know what to call it. They've gotten better by the figure. I've read many people say that better at the sculpting, it's better proportional on the body. We'll get back to that when I do some comparisons. But yeah. And as usual, it's a soft rubber piece for the upper chest here and for the filler pieces in the shoulders, right there at the butterfly joint. The hip piece is a softer plastic, and the rest is hard plastic. And yeah, articulation wise, the head can spin, look slightly down, not much up due to the hair in the back there, but there's a long ball peg pin from attached to the head and in the chest there, so it can look down and it can look up, and you have the side to side there and all that. And as I mentioned, there's a butterfly joint going forward and back, up and down, and you have arms can go that much. You got the bicep swivel there, got a double jointed elbow, but I don't feel you get much out of that upper part of the elbow joint, and to be honest, not much out of the lower either, but together you can get a bit over 90 degrees bend there. You have wrist joints here, the ball hinges, so depending on how you turn that ball hinge, if I can turn it, you can get up and down and in and out there at the wrist. And there's a ball joint in the shoulder here, and the said butterfly joint. There's a ball joint from that chest piece and into the abdomen that you get side to side and back and forth and swivel. A bit tight on mine. And there's a ball joint from the abdomen and into the hip piece, so you get full movement there. There's a ball joint in the hip, and due to the hip piece being flexible, you can kick forward that much, back that much before it stops in the pants there. you can pretty much, you can almost reach the full split. You get the double jointed knee, but you get a little bit over 90 degrees on it there. You have a ball hinge in the ankles too, so that the legs can move down that much, up that much. You get a toe hinge, and you get a ankle tilt here, and I've got to be a little bit careful because this figure is kind of cold. It's been sitting in my review room for almost two weeks now, almost. But yeah, there's that. Now, accessory wise, you have these 3 pieces, and I am going to just gonna mirror somewhat his hands here, and maybe we can show off both at the same time. These, I assume that this top piece is going up, since you won't be seeing the bottom there anyway. So let's see here, does it fit both hands? And I would assume it does. You can use it for both hands to some extent, but you have this longer piece effect on this side, so it might be better to use it on his right hand, so you can get that long side on the outside of his body instead of it colliding with the inside. But it frictions on, so you can simulate like a really fast punch. And you have this other piece too. I can't really tell if it's meant for a left or right hand, but it should just maybe it depends on how you want to display or twist the hand, but this one doesn't seem to really friction in all that good, but yeah, the smaller one seems like it's more meant for the fist being rotated this way, and this one for the fist to go this way, because compare these two here. If you look at the inside here on this piece, it's taller and slimmer than this piece, and when you look at the effect, you can kind of see that on this one the hand is meant to go this way, and on this one the hand is meant to go this way, because it's kind of shorter or smaller on the top there, like you can almost see the fist inside there. But it fits regardless which way you choose to rotate the hand. It adjusts friction on, and again, looking at the box here, you see the effect piece being used there, and I can't tell, I can't see the other effect piece in action in any of these pictures here, but yeah. And then you have this piece right here, the flaming kick, and it's kind of easy to use. And just point the leg as much upwards as you can, more or less like so, and then you simply just slide this piece on. But got to be careful, I don't like things that friction in really, but it's supposed to go in there. More or less like so. Then you get the flaming kick thing. The foot can travel further in there. You can get it more down if you want to, but yeah, that's how you do it. And it's pretty much how they show it on the box. So that's it for that. And again, I don't like it when things friction on, because you can't really display it with these kind of things on the figure for a longer period of time, because eventually the temperature in the room or where the figure is displayed, it's gonna rise and drop depending on how much you want to freeze or how much you're gonna sweat, and if you live in a country with seasons and things like that. So the rubber is going to soften up and it's going to harden depending on the temperature, and sooner or later the effect piece is going to kind of glue itself onto the figure, and when you're gonna try to take it off, you're gonna tear off the paint. So I don't like things that friction in really. So yeah, but let's get these things out of the way. We're done with the accessories. We've gone through the articulation, so let's have a quick look at the figure close up here. It's beautifully done. I like all the wrinkles in the pants here. You can even see the texture in the pants. It's beautifully done. See the musculature there, texture, and yeah, in my opinion, when the sculpting is really good on a figure, it's like you can be kind of forgiving when it comes to the paint. On a figure that doesn't have a hard sculpt, like you see all these details here, a figure that doesn't have a hard sculpt doesn't catch the light all that well, and it doesn't create the shadows all that well. But with this one, with the hard sculpt, you don't need the shading kind of in the body paint, because shadow light, it will create the shading in the body for you, like you see on the shoulder and biceps there. As I rotate it, when the light catches inside the sculpt, the skin tone goes lighter. When they catch shadow, they catch more details. So you kind of only need enough paint to get a texture to make it look like a skin tone. You don't need the shading to make the sculpt pop anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the figure. Let me get out the others in the series so far and we'll do a comparison. And here is the whole gang so far, with all the past figures, with the exception of the two variants. There's a variant of Ryu, Evil Ryu, I think it was called, and there's a variant of Ken that's called Violent Ken. And yeah, those two figures I passed on, and all the figures so far have had color variants, like different colors on the clothes. But yeah, I've gone for the standard player 1 version of all the characters. And yeah, and speaking of color variations and outfits, as I said, here is Fei Long, and he has a bare naked upper body, as you can see on the figure there, and as you can see on the artwork right here. But if you look at the front artwork, he obviously have some sort of traditional Chinese outfit on him. And from what I can remember, the character enters the fighting stage arena wearing an outfit that he tears off before he fights. And there is probably, for all I know, I can't remember, but I think there may be an option of fighting with the Chinese upper body outfit there, the jacket or what you want to call it, in the game. I just can't remember right now, but I kind of, I think it was possible. It was like a player 1, player 2 difference or something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah. So we might get another Fei Long figure with that outfit, or with the jacket piece, to put it that way. Furthermore, I was talking about the body right there. Fei Long is the shortest character in the series, this Street Fighter 2 series so far. He's slimmer, he's smaller, and yeah, we're gonna put aside the bigger characters for a second here, and I'm gonna compare with Ryu and Ken. If I can get the lighting here to show off these figures a little bit better. So yeah, here you have Ryu and Ken, the two first figures in the line. So I'm gonna post them up like so you can see the bodies. Now these two characters have clothes on the upper body here though, so it's kind of hard to see it. But if you look at Ryu, I'm gonna show you what I mean here. If you look at Ryu on the left and you look at Fei Long on the left here, Ryu have a much softer sculpt to the body than Fei Long, if you notice. And his I think if I'm not mistaken, I think both Ryu and Ken in the game have an American background, but I think they grew up in Japan or something in the game. I'm not sure about the background on them, to be honest. But Fei Long is definitely Chinese of origin in the game, and he's just much harder sculpted, got a more tan skin color than Ryu here, if I can focus. Ryu is more pale, and so is Ken too, more pale in the skin tone. He's kind of more typical American kind of guy, but again, I can't remember the nationality on him. I know Zangief is Russian, I know Guile is American, and I think Balrog was American too, and Sagat I think was from Thailand or something in the game. So yeah, but anyway, you see that it's an advancement on the Fei Long figure here compared to the body sculpt on Ryu. Fei Long's face is even smaller too, if you can see. Fei Long's fists are even smaller too, feet smaller. So yeah, it's a smaller. Storm have made the figure this figure smaller and better sculpted, in my opinion, compared to the two first releases from this series. And yeah, so that's it for the comparison. Let me put him into his final pose so he match up with the winner pose for the other characters, and I'll be right back. And here we are. Got the figure in his final pose for my display. This is more or less his pose when he wins a fight in the game, and I'm not gonna use a stand for these figures here, so it was kind of hard to get him to stand when he puts all his weight on the back there. He wanna fall backwards there, so I got to futz around a little bit with it and make it stand on my shelf. But yeah, there you got it. Here are all the effect pieces you get with the figure, as well as the nunchuck. You get the 3 different heads, you get an army of hands here, so you have options when posing this figure. I think the figure itself is a step up from the previous figures as far as sculpting goes. It's a beautiful figure. I think it's more proportional than let's say Ryu and Ken. They got like huge feet. Like I said, here is Ken. He got some really big feet compared to his face, and his arms and upper body are really beefy. Everything is really beefy on this character compared to the head and the size of him. Furthermore, I think, if I remember correctly, this line of figures, the Ultra Street Fighter 2 series, were advertised as 1/12 scale when they were first released. I think at the Big Bad Toy Store, where I get most of these figures from, it's advertised as 1/12 scale. I think they used to do it, and these figures are far away from 1/12 scale. They're more like 1/10 scale. This is not a 1/12 scale body. I have real 1/12 scale figures, and they're far smaller than this Ultra Street Fighter 2 line, as well as the Mortal Kombat line from Storm Collectibles. They're not 1/12 scale, they're more 1/10 scale. If you try to get anything 1/12 scale accessories for these figures, the accessories are going to be too small. So they are at least 1/10 scale, but then again, these are video game characters, though. But if you look at the box, it says that Fei Long is a Chinese, blood type is O, age 23, is 60 kilograms, is 172 centimeters tall, and etc. down here. Now, if you take 172 centimeters there, and you divide that by 6, then I think you should be at the 1/12 scale size. And Fei Long, I can't do the math in my head, but may my butt fall off if I'm wrong, but this guy doesn't measure 1/6 scale. I'm telling you that. If you calculate 1/6 out of 172, this is not 1/6 scale. You're gonna land on 1/10 scale somewhere, I believe. So yeah, but anyway, it's as I said, it's a step up as far as the sculpt go on this figure. It's a beautifully done figure. I really like the figure in general. The accessories are nice, though I'm not going to display the figure with the accessories. And other than the nunchucks, it's a part of his winning pose. I also, excuse me, I also swapped out his stock head here with another face expression, because that's the one he had when I looked it up online. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that these characters in the video game actually had more than one winning pose. I think they had 2, and the computer or the game console would vary between the two poses depending on whatever. Like Ryu's standard pose was his fist up in the air, like this pose right here. But there is an alternate pose where he crosses his arms on his chest and kind of slightly turns away from the camera, to call it that. And same with Ken. He have that pose where he throws his arm up in the air, but he also has one kind of similar to this where he does the peace sign. But the figure didn't come with that hand. He didn't come with a peace hand, so I have to use the other winning victory pose for Ken. But it's the victory poses I've gone for with the Ultra Street Fighter 2 figures. I've gone for the neutral combat stance with the Mortal Kombat figures, so they're not all kind of looking the same on the shelf. And hopefully the figure will stay on his feet on display though. But yeah, anyway, here's the accessories you get: extra head, effect pieces, nunchucks, hands, figure, and it's pretty awesome. Next up is Blanca, I think, and he's not yet in stock at the online store I'm using, so that will probably happen this month or maybe next month. The Big Bad Toy Store are always late, and I don't get why I still keep buying my figures at their store anymore. But anyway, yeah, here it is. If you liked my review, please give this video a thumb up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And as always, go nuts in the comments, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.